please join me on page 405 in your math textbook. This is chapter 10, lesson 5. Again, we're looking at area of a trapezoid. And we're going to talk a little bit more today about the formula, which I actually gave you the formula yesterday, but we're going to use the formula exclusively today. So any parallelogram can be divided into two trapezoids with the same shape and size. That's what we were doing yesterday, where we looked at the entire parallelogram, found the area of the parallelogram, and then just cut it in half. The bases of the trapezoids, B1 and B2, because remember, trapezoids have two bases, form the base of the parallelogram. The area of each trapezoid is half the area of the parallelogram. So the area of a trapezoid is half the product of its length and the sum of its bases. So our formula, area equals 1/2, and again 1/2 can also be written as 0.5 if you'd rather multiply with decimals. And then it's times base 1 plus base 2, and then times the height. Okay, so essentially same thing as yesterday. You're adding the two bases, multiplying it times the height, and then you have your choice of either multiplying by 1/2, multiplying by 0.5, or dividing that answer by 2. All of those things will give you the same answer. Okay, let's unlock the problem. Mr. Desmond has tables in his office with tops shaped like trapezoids. The diagram shows the dimensions of each tabletop. What is the area of each tabletop? Okay, so we have base 1, and which one is base 1 and which one is base 2 doesn't really matter, because since we're adding, the order of the two numbers we're adding doesn't matter. Just like 3 plus 5 is 8, and 5 plus 3 is also 8. Switching the 5 and the 3 doesn't change the sum. So identifying which one is base 1 and which one is base 2 isn't that important. You just need to make sure you identify the two bases. Okay. How can you identify the bases? They are parallel to each other. So if you're not sure if they turn the trapezoid in any way, you just need to remember, okay, I need to find the two lines that are parallel to each other, meaning if these two lines extended on forever, they would never intersect. Okay, because the other two lines in a parallelogram will eventually meet up. If we extend these two lines out, they will eventually meet. So those are not the bases. So that's how you identify which two sides are the bases. They have to be the sides that are parallel to each other. Okay, so first we add the two bases. So we have 1.6 plus 0.9. Now, since we're adding these decimals, it is important to line our decimals up. 9 plus 6 is 15. Carry my 1, 2.5. Okay, and then 1/2 times 2.5 times 0.6 is going to be our final answer. And we can do this in any order we want. I'm going to change that 1/2 to 0.5. So I'm going to say 0.5 times, and I'm going to do 0.6, because again, I can go in any order I want now because it's all multiplication. And again, just like 3 times 5 is 15, 5 times 3 is also 15. Switching the order of the 3 and the 5 doesn't change my answer. So since I have only multiplication, I'm going to do the 0.5 times the 0.6. And again, I got 0.5 because 1/2 equals 0.5. So half of 6 is 3, but it's going to be 0.3. And I can show you that math as well. I can prove it. There's one number behind the decimal here. There's one number behind the decimal here, so I'm going to move my decimal over twice. 5 times 6 is 30. If I move my decimal over twice, it becomes 0.3, and I can take that back 0 off if I want. So now I've used the 1/2, I've used the 0.6, and I got 0.3. So now I'm just going to take 2.5 now, the last number that I haven't done anything with, and multiply it times 0.3. Again, I have one number behind the decimal here, one number behind the decimal here. Add those up. I'm going to move my decimal over twice when I get my answer. 3 times 5 is 15, carry my 1. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. And then I move my decimal over twice. 1, 2. So it becomes, well, here, let's do, what did we do? We did it a little differently. We didn't use the half. We used 2.5 times 0.3, which is fine. We get the same answer, 0.75. So the area of the tabletop is 0.75 meters squared. Okay. How can you identify the height? Real quick, let's go back to this. The height is perpendicular to the parallel sides. Okay, so the height has to form a right angle with both of the bases. That's how we know which one is the height. Okay. All right, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.